Nom Nom delivers fresh food with whole ingredients backed by veterinarian science. Science tells us that a dog's health starts in the bowl, so improving their diet is one of the best ways to help them live a long and happy life. Nom Nom's food is full of proteins your dog loves and the vitamins and nutrients they need to thrive. All you have to do is order, pour, and serve. Ready to make the switch to fresh? Order Nom Nom today. Go to https://trynom.com/curveball and get 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's https://trynom.com/curveball. Plus, Nom Nom comes with a money-back guarantee. If your dog's tail isn't wagging within 30 days, Nom Nom will refund your first order. No fillers, no nonsense, just Nom Nom. Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by ministry wife turned business coach, best-selling author, and international speaker, Katie Horner. Katie has inspired millions of people with her multiple best-selling books and her unique approach to business. So we're going to be talking to her about her story and what her unique approach to business is. So Katie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
So my husband and I moved to Mexico about 16 years ago, initially to do ministry. And when the ministry opportunities ended, we realized we wanted to stay in Mexico and we needed to start a business to support ourselves. And so from our last $5 in the bank, we started a curriculum company that created a homeschool curriculum in the Spanish language. And then from there, in a few years, began coaching other entrepreneurs with what we learned as we grew that business. And so the Flamingo Advantage is the business that we have today, primarily doing business coaching for online marketing and client experience. But we still live in tropical Mexico and homeschool our 5 kids and travel when we can and just enjoy living and giving as God directs.
So tell us about the ministry that you do, because I had a friend that actually moved to Mexico for a while to teach English to students. He was a school teacher. So tell us about the ministry that you were doing in Mexico.
Well, our first couple of years, we were at a Bible college. So we were support staff. My husband did construction. I taught some music classes and was a mentor to some of the young ladies. And then we moved to an orphanage ministry for about a year. And then we've also helped several different independent churches here get started. And so as you know, as I said, lots of different things to do, great ways to spread the gospel, both in and out of an official ministry title. And we find that we have quite a lot of opportunity still to minister through the business that we now get to steward. So that's pretty fun.
So tell us, what is the Flamingo Advantage and how you guys came up with the name?
So the Flamingo Advantage brand, the book and the programs that we now have came out of a trip that we took with our kids to go see flamingos in the wild. We'd never seen them outside of pictures or in a zoo and decided to do that. There's a place in the coast here that they come in winter. And so we chartered a local fishing boat and took the kids up the river for the day. And I never will forget coming around that bend and seeing in the distance, not just a herd or a cloud, but like a complete horizon full of these pink fluffy clouds in between the blue of the water and the sky and the green on the side of the river. It was nothing. I was not prepared for what that looked like. And as we got closer, I think I expected the flamingos to kind of flutter and move away from us, maybe be afraid of us or uh, something like that. But they didn't do that. They just stood there. They weren't afraid of the tourists. They weren't afraid of the crocodiles in the river. The motorboat didn't scare them. They just continued to stand there and do what they were created to do. And that picture impacted me so much. I couldn't get it out of my head. So over the next few weeks, I started researching flamingos. And at this point, I was already doing some business coaching. But the more I studied about these crazy pink birds, the more I realized the similarities between them and us as humans, and especially as entrepreneurs. So, one of the cool things about flamingos is that they're pink inside and out. And so, you know, what we are on the inside has to come out authentically on the outside if we're doing business or ministry or whatever we're doing, or people know it. They know when we're not being authentic. And the flamingo doesn't let anyone, tease him or scare him into not being any less pink than he is. The pink that colors the flamingos comes from what they eat. All of the nutrients from the carotenoids and the little shrimp and things that they're eating off the bottom of their feeding grounds give them their color, and it colors their skin and their flesh and their blood. And like, it's not just the feathers, it goes all the way through them. And in our lives too, what we are colored by, like what is inside comes out, but that inside gets colored by the diet we feed ourselves. You feed yourself negative talk, that's going to come out in your life. You feed yourself bad ideas, it's going to come, bad friendships, like all of that comes out and it shows on the outside of who you are. And so these ideas just kept coming and coming and coming. And the flamingo advantage, that just having the boldness to stand up and be who you were created to be and do what you were created to do, regardless of the dangers or who's watching or what atmosphere you're in the moment, was just so powerful that we started incorporating it more and more into the business. And it kind of took a life of its own. And everyone started calling me the flamingo lady. And that led to a book and now a second book. And, the rest is history.
So tell us the story behind the flower that you wear.
Well, the flower in my hair is sort of related to the flamingo in that it's unique to me. It's not something I do for the brand. It's something I do for Katie because early in our ministry life, we were taught that we shouldn't do anything that drew attention to ourselves and took away from the job we were there to do or distracted from it. And so I stuffed all of the fun parts of me down inside and I just did what I was told. But later, as we began teaching and running our own business, it was hot, tropical Mexico day. The humidity here is crazy. It's like 100% humidity in the rainy season. And I was late to teach this online class. I'd been taking care of my littles all day and just a mess. And so I grabbed my daughter's headband and threw it in my hair right before I turned on the video to teach that class. And everyone was like, well, I love flower. And I didn't think anything of it until the next week when I showed up without a flower in my hair. And people said, Katie, where's your flower? That was so awesome. So I started to wear it more often. And as I did, I realized that I liked the way I felt with a flower in my hair. It reminded me of the fun parts of me that I'd been hiding for so long. And it gave me the courage to stand out and be me today. And so I started wearing it more and more and more. And it just becomes something that is a part of me on the outside to remind me of who I am on the inside and that it's okay to show up and be Katie today. In fact, God made me this way on purpose. And, that again is part of our flamingo advantage. It's part of what attracts people to me, the way a flamingo's voice attracts the others to it. And in our business or in our walk of life, there can be lots of other people who do what we do, but nobody does it just like us. There's a lot of business coaches out there. There's a lot of business coaches who are Christians out there, but nobody coaches quite the same way as me because they don't have the examples and the stories and the experiences and things that Katie does. And you could say the same for yourself, Curtis. Nobody does this exactly what you do the same way you do. And that becomes your flamingo advantage. And when you can hone in on that and you can leverage it, you're able to serve more people because it serves as a calling card to the people out there who are attracted to you. Flamingos have their own unique voice. every flamingo looks like the other flamingos. And, we as humans have a hard time telling them apart. But the way they tell each other apart is because each one has their own unique voice. And so they know their mate, they know their child, they know the others in their flock by their voice. And you have a voice too that the people who need you and your message are going to resonate with. And that's become one of the mainstay messages of our business, is that your message matters. Your voice is unique, and somebody needs what you have in the world today.
Well, that answered my next question. What sets you apart as a business and marketing coach? So share a story about one of your clients and how their Flamingo Advantage changed their business or life.
Oh, so one of my mastermind clients has been a CPA for a very long time, but she also had this little art business on the side. And that's what brought her to me initially, because she wanted to learn how to grow this art business of teaching people online art classes. And she didn't have a lot of confidence in doing that. And in coming to work with me, we were able to show her how unique it was that she has the business sense of these years and years and years as a CPA in the financial realm. And the people that she works with, she gets to pour into them. She gets to see them in places and in attitudes and with fears that other people never have the opportunity to minister to them with. And that is impactful and allows her to have this mentorship. And she was able to take that then and apply it to the art business and combine the mentorship with the art to create a program. And she was like, "Oh, Katie, this is never gonna get off the ground. Nobody's gonna want to buy this from me." And of course, I pushed her to raise her prices for it. We mapped out her marketing campaign, and she came back and she had 12 people enrolled the first time that she opened that program. And it, something that she thought, no one would ever want this from me. And yet there are people who resonated with her voice, who saw the value of that mentorship along with the art skills and the business skills that she had. And we're looking for exactly that. And it's just so much fun to see when you can believe in somebody else, when they can't believe for themselves, how that Flamingo Advantage transforms them as they're able to recognize it and be able to leverage it in their business.
Tell us about what you mean when you say work is worship.
Well, I believe we were each created for a specific purpose. And there are those who may not believe in God. That's up to you. But I believe that God created each of us with a divine purpose for being here. Somebody we're supposed to impact with the gifts and talents and message he's given us. And so while most people think, oh, well, ministry people lead worship, or ministry people, people in full-time ministry are the ones who have this sort of higher pedestal than everyone else. I believe if you're doing what God called and created you to do, then that is your best worship. That is the best compliment you could pay to your creator. And we think of somebody who makes toys, for instance. The best compliment to that toy maker, the best testimonial, if you will, for his business is that the toy does what it's created to do. If it arrives to the child or to the party and something is broken or doesn't work, it's a bad name for that toy maker. And in our cases, when we are doing what we were created to do, that thing that lights you up, that thing that just fills your bucket and gives you joy every time you get to do that, that's the thing you were created to do. And when you can do it, even in the business sector, even in a secular marketplace, you're able to, without even having to give a Christian testimony at all, just the way that you do what you do will shine a light and will have the impact that you were created to make. And I believe that is your best worship. The best way to worship your creator is to just simply do every day what he's created you to do.
There's some pink marketing strategies with us.
Well, the pink marketing comes again back, a throwback to the flamingos, right? And their color pink. But if you're going to market your business, the pink strategies is an acronym, actually. The pink, the P stands for personalized. Your strategy needs to be personalized to your business. And this is where, there's lots of courses and things out there, but as a coach, I get to customize the strategies that I use with my folks to be able to look at their business, look at their people and the specific needs of their potential clients, be able to customize the strategy to them. Where their people are hanging out, that's where we need to be. What conversations are those people having in their heads right now? That's where we need to be. Then another one is kind and aligned. The K in pink stands for kind and aligned. And so that is where we want to be someone who expresses kindness and joy in our business, because I believe that's a stronger calling card than negativity. There's enough negativity in the world. People can get that from news. They can get it from, goodness, even walking down the street these days, right? Get it from criticisms on Facebook. But in your marketing, when you're speaking to them, be the voice that rings out in kindness, and be sure that your marketing is aligned with where you're taking them. And this is where, if you have a certain product that you're selling, like, stay in that lane. Keep your marketing aligned with the thing that you want to become known for. I have a friend that I just actually interviewed on my podcast, the Flamingo Advantage podcast, recently, who is both a coach and an artist. And one of the things that he has been able to do is to combine this mix of art with his coaching. And some of his coaching clients become artist clients, and some of his artist clients become coaching clients or buy his artwork. And he's been able to mix that. And part of it is that he doesn't dress all stuffy. He lets the fun part of him show in the fancy shirts that he wears that are all kinds of crazy colors and paisleys and things like that. And he posts photos of his art online all the time because he does that for his own enjoyment. And so the art is aligned with who he is and what he teaches, even though his main business per se is the coaching business. And so when you're promoting your thing, you wouldn't be promoting cupcakes if you're a car mechanic. Keep it in alignment with what you do. And I think that's really, really key as we're doing it, because we can all do lots of things. You can do so many different things in your business. You could help people in lots of different ways, but what's the way that you want to be known for? Or what's the biggest piece that you're taking people towards in their client journey with you? Stay in that lane, keep it in alignment with where you're taking your people as you're marketing.
Well, tell us about your podcast and tell us about your books.
Oh, well, thank you. The flamingoadvantage.com is our website where you can find the podcast as well as the books. And this is all born out of those flamingo lessons that we learned that day on the river in tropical Mexico, and all of the subsequent research that we did into flamingos and how it applies to our lives as entrepreneurs. And so we're sharing those lessons in the podcast format once a week, as well as in our books, The Flamingo Advantage. We have another one called Faith Like Flamingos, Walking Out Your Faith in Bold Color, which is a little bit more devotional. Flamingo Advantage book is more marketing and business, and also attacking the 8 biggest myths that we tend to believe about Christian business, or mixing religion and business. And that's where we serve folks. We also have a free Facebook group that you can find at theflamingoadvantage.com as well. And we're happy to serve folks however we can.
Well, tell us about any upcoming projects that you're working on that people need to know about.
Oh, yes. In September, we have 2 special events. We've got a 1-day Christian marketing camp that's coming up, and that's going to be virtual. You can attend from anywhere. And that is going to be some of the pink marketing strategies with a little bit more time to go in depth. We've got workbooks to hand out to folks to help you really ramp up what you're doing with your marketing. And then that is sort of the precursor to a 3-day event we're hosting at the end of September, where we're going to be able to dive deeper into the mindset of business and marketing, as well as client experience. And so it's a 3-day training that we'll be hosting, again, virtually. Folks can attend online and be able to have a community with other entrepreneurs in maybe not in your niche, but with the same mindset of wanting to grow their business, as well as learn some great marketing skills and funnels and tools and all kinds of great things there. So again, information at our website, theflamingoadvantage.com. You can find out about either of those.
close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe if there was something I forgot to talk about that you would like to touch on, or any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I think if you're going to walk away with anything today, just remember that you were put here for a reason, that your message matters, and that you can show confidently on the outside who you are on the inside when you're doing your work as worship.
Right, the flamingoadvantage.com. Ladies and gentlemen, please be sure to check out everything that Katie's up to. And if you know of any business people, follow, rate, review, share this to as many people as possible. If you have any guests or suggestion topics, cjackson102 at cox.net is the place to send them. As always, thank you for listening. And Katie, thank you for joining us and sharing your expertise.
Thank you so much.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.